Good morning to our viewers on Facebook. I'm Aaron Parsegian with 10 Tampa Bay. We're now entering day 2 of the search for a missing 2-year-old boy here in Brooksville in Hernando County, Florida. This is the media staging area. We've been here since very early this morning. This is where really the ground crew has been basing themselves and continuing their search for this 2-year-old who went missing nearly 24 hours ago is when he was last reported seen at a home here on Yonce Road. So it was at this home where he was last seen in his yard, and police have been searching for him since yesterday afternoon. They paused that search overnight where they used helicopters and drones, but now the ground search has really picked up. Since 6 this morning, there's more than 100 law enforcement officers doing this search. They're from Hernando County, Citrus County, Sumter County, Pasco County. There's also U.S. Marshal Service here, Department of Corrections officers with their dogs, canine units, mounted units, an impressive show here searching for this young boy. I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a scene of what's been going on. This has been in a very active area this entire day, as there's hundreds of law enforcement officers in this area, canine units, all checking back in at the central location where that boy was last seen yesterday. Now the search continues for him. We have his picture up right there. You can see him there. There's also an impressive volunteer effort in this search. Across the street, or down the street I should say, they had a station set up where they were checking in volunteers doing background checks. That line stretched around the block. There was more than 500 people offering to help search this morning, helping their community, helping look for this little boy. They're actually saying there's no more need for volunteers. They have at capacity for the amount of volunteers they need for the search. So they're continuing this search on the ground, and they're doing it very meticulously. So what they're doing is they're going on a grid basis. That's how the sheriff described it. So they're going literally foot by foot around this area. One of the things making this search difficult, and one of the things that is concerning, it's a very rural area around this home. There's a lot of woods, there's ponds, and that's one of the reasons they're bringing in the dive team unit as well as a dog to sniff around that water. Now there's also a helicopter you can probably hear and see in the sky right now, so a lot of this is aerial as well. Now for those volunteers, they're also using an app called Map My Tracks, which is able to actually get a recording of every area they've checked, and they're able to send that to the Hernando County Sheriff's Office so they can check that off as marked. But as I said, this is a very meticulous search right now as we are entering nearly 24 hours since this 2-year-old JJ Rowland was last seen. You can see on your screen there, that's who they're looking for. Obviously a very intense situation, but there's more than 100 law enforcement officers out here searching, more than 500 volunteers, and it's a huge community coming out to try and find this little boy. And as I mentioned, if you're just joining us, this is that staging area off Yonce Road. This is where that boy was last seen outside his home yesterday around 10:40 in the morning. He was reported missing around noon, and these crews have been here ever since, obviously ramping up their efforts as last night went on, and then overnight with volunteers searching the ground with flashlights in hand, really checking out this very rural area. And that's obviously one of the things that's making this difficult. Around this home where JJ was last seen, it is very rural. There's a lot of wooded areas, there are ponds, and that's one of the reasons we're seeing dive teams here, canine units, as well as mounted horse units. And then as we pointed out, you can hear it and see it above with the helicopters and drones in this area, also trying to get an aerial. They're also using infrared technology that can beam down into these wooded areas and possibly get a track of someone or something that could be in the woods as well. There's also, right now the sheriff tells us he's not suspecting any foul play, but they're also not ruling anything out. Right now they're treating this as if that 2-year-old wandered off from his home, but as I mentioned, they're not ruling anything out. They're following up on leads throughout the morning. Obviously a very fluid situation, so we hope to keep you updated throughout the day, both on air, on our social media pages, on 10tampabay.com, and of course we'll keep you updated throughout this morning. But as we've seen here, if you're just joining us, this is that staging area off Yonce Road here in Brooksville where JJ was last seen nearly 24 hours ago. Of course, bring you updates throughout the day.